Hi, I'm Flogging, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add a little bit of spice to your Florentine. Now, the prerequisite for this tutorial is that you already know how to do at least 4-point Florentine or 6-point Florentine even, otherwise known as the 2-beat weave or the 3-beat weave. So if you don't know how to do Florentine yet, please make sure you review those tutorials first on this website because you will need those skills for this particular tutorial. Okay, so the cool thing about Florentine is that you can get a nice rhythmic flow going just like this. It almost feels like, you know, a massage for your bottom, right? But you don't want your bottom to get bored or complacent, right? So to add that little bit of spice, every now and then you can add what I call a little side swipe, all right? So this is what it looks like on the side. So if you're flogging, you're vibing, and then every once in a while, you just throw in a little swipe, okay? So as with all of my tutorials, or actually my most recent tutorials on here, I'm going to divide this up into different sections. And at the end of each section, I will say, okay, I recommend you pause now, take some time to practice all the moves that we learned in this section before moving on to the next one, right? Because you're probably not going to be able to learn all this in one sitting, and that's totally fine. So get each section down, practice it until you get into muscle memory, and then move on to the next section, all right? So here's a quick demo, once again, of what these side swipes might look like. So you're just flogging, right? And you can just go swipe like that, or you can go swipe from this way, or you can do double like that. And you can even do an overhead like that. Okay, so there's a lot of variations here. I will go through all of them in order, and then we'll see how this goes. Okay. So let's start with the basic side swipe itself, all right? And so basically this is all you're going to do. You're just going to go side to side with your flogger just like this. What I encourage you to do is to really practice your control. So practice going hard, right? And then letting up so that you're not actually smacking yourself, just like this, right? Go hard, 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 hard. So I'm not doing that. That's gonna probably hurt after a while, or you might like it. But the idea is to go hard, but then with enough control that you're not hitting yourself left and right, okay? I also encourage you to try to keep it as horizontal as possible. So rather than like doing something like that, I just find it a little bit easier to control if I go horizontally. So depending on the height of your bottom or your target, you might need to squat down a little bit, okay? So the first move is just to practice these side swipes. I'm mostly gonna just teach on one side for this tutorial, but I do encourage you to be able to do both arms as well. It'll just add to your versatility a little bit, okay? And then of course, I'm not gonna show you the figure eights, but please make sure that you know how to do the figure eights, i.e. you know how to do Florentine on both sides. Okay, so I'm not gonna go over this or that, but I'm assuming you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, review those tutorials. Now that you have the basic side swipe motion down, the next step is to practice going in and out of that from the figure eight, all right? So if we're just doing one arm at a time for now, this is what you're basically doing with one of your hands during Florentine, right? So you want to be able to go from here to swipe, 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 okay? So notice with these, I'm starting on what I call the forehand first. I'm going across and then back. You can also practice doing it by starting here. So for instance, I'm doing the figure eight. So once I'm here, swipe, swipe, and then back to the figure 8. Swipe, swipe, back to the figure 8. So that's another variation that you may want to try. The other one is just to do some single swipes, right? So I'm going to do a swipe from my forehand across. So I'll just go 1, 2, swipe, 1, 2, 3, swipe, 1, 2, 3, swipe, 1, 2, 3, swipe, okay? And then a single swipe from the backhand, back forward, 1, 2, 3, swipe, 1, 2, 3, swipe, 1, 2, 3, swipe, like that. Okay, so those are the 4 different, I guess, variations here, where you're doing a swipe, a double swipe, starting on the forehand, a double swipe starting on the backhand, a single swipe starting on the forehand, and then a single swipe starting on the backhand. So this is what this would look like with a target. All right, so you're going like this, 2, 3, 4, swipe, swipe, 1, 2, 3, 4, swipe, swipe, 1, 2, 3, 4, swipe, swipe. That's one way. Then 1, 2, 3, whoops, 5, swipe, swipe, 1, 2, 3, 4, swipe, swipe, 1, 2, 3, 4, swipe, swipe. Okay, that's another second way. And then single ones, 2, 3, 4, swipe, 2, 3, 4, swipe, 2, 3, 4, swipe, 2, 3, 4, swipe. All right, and then let me straighten this out real quick. 2, 3, swipe, 2, 3, 4, swipe, 2, 3, 4, swipe, 2, 3, 4, swipe. Right, so now you'll notice with all of these, there's a little bit of finessing that you have to do to go from a figure 8 to a swipe and then back to a figure 8, okay? There's no like magical formula for it. You just have to figure out the timing and when to bend your floggers back over, okay? So this is kind of like the key here is to do that. Swipe, swipe, back like that. Swipe and then back like that, right? So practice that until you feel that you can do it smoothly. You're probably gonna hit yourself every now and then. I still do that as well. I don't think it's a big deal, right? But the idea is, once again, you have this rhythm going, you have a nice rhythm going, and then every now and then you throw a swipe in, all right? So that will be this section. Please take a little bit of time and practice these 4 sets of drills that I have you do, and then we'll move on to the next one where we start putting both arms together. It's gonna get complicated now. Welcome back. Now we start to get a little bit complicated because this is where we're going to put the 2 together, okay? So what we're aiming for is for one arm to be doing the figure 8 while the other arm is doing the side swipes back and forth, okay? So kind of like this, figure 8, figure 8. Okay, now you may have noticed already that there's actually 2 positions you can be in, right? So one is where my figure 8 arm is on the bottom and my side swipe arm is on the top. All right, so there's another way to do it where my figure 8 arm is on top and my side swipe is on the bottom. And later on, I'll show you how to get back and forth between the 2. But for now, let's practice both positions, okay? Because there's reasons for both, right? If you have your figure 8 arm low like this, you can do side swipes across your bottom's back like this. Or you can reverse it where you're, let's say, doing figure 8s on the back and you're doing side swipes, oops, on their butts, okay? So this is what I suggest you try. So first off, when we're first starting to learn this, to get your timing down, it will be easier if you keep your hands far apart, okay? So for now, let's do the figure 8s on the bottom hand and then the side swipes on the top hand, all right? And like I said, I'm only teaching one hand at a time. because I'm assuming you're probably just going to do side swipes with one arm while you're first starting. I encourage you to be able to do both, kind of learn both. Like go through this whole tutorial on your own later with your other hand just to improve your versatility, okay? So let's just start doing this. And then see, okay, if you can put it together. So to break it down, with the figure eights, I'm gonna call it as across, back, across, back. And the side swipes, I'm just gonna say swipe, 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 okay? So across, swipe, back, swipe, 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 right? So on the side, just go cross, back, all right? So cross, swipe, back, swipe, cross, swipe, back, swipe. Wow, I can't say it, you got it. Okay, so part of the timing is gonna be a little bit tricky, right? Because you're probably naturally gonna want to like go at the same time. And there's anything wrong with that per se. It's just gonna be a little bit harder. You'll probably, the floggers will hit each other probably. So whatever works for you is totally fine. But the way I do it is, right, alternating. So for now, across, swipe, swipe, okay? With your figure eight arm starting low, get that down first, all right? And then switch it up where now your figure eight arm is high and you're swiping low. Okay, so get a little bit lower so you can see that, right? But in this case, then I start with the swipe first, swipe, across, swipe, back, swipe, across, swipe, back, swipe, across, swipe, back, swipe, across, swipe, back. Okay, so all right, okay, just like that. And timing can be a little bit tricky. You probably noticed that my beat there was a little bit swinging, like da 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 da. It is kind of hard. I'll grant you that. I'm still, refining it myself. But the point is to be able to get an even and consistent, accurate motion, and that's what we're aiming for. Okay, so I recommend you pause the video here, take some time to practice incorporating both arms at the same time with figure eight arm on bottom, swipes on top, and then also figure eight arm on top and swipes on the bottom. Okay, there we go. Welcome back. At this point, I am assuming that you have practiced the last section. Again, that will probably be the trickiest section to learn, so you probably spent some time on that. You've practiced that, and at this point, you're able to do something like this, okay? And something like this as well. So in this case now, we're doing the figure eights only with one hand, and then we're doing the swipes only with the other hand. The next step is to start with the weave. And to keep it simple, I'll just do a 2-beat weave right now. To start with the weave, and then as you're doing the weave, start mixing in those side swipes like this. All right. Oops, sorry, switched into the 3-beat weave. Let me just go back here. Okay, it's like this, swipe, 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 swipe. Okay, so that's what we're going for here. And really, there's really not much for me to explain here. It's just a little bit of practicing, right? So you have the figure eight going, and you can do one up, one high, one low, one high, as before, to break it apart a little bit, right? And then whenever you're ready, just add that swipe, and then go right back into it, like that. Okay. All right, and then starting on this side, doubles. So I actually find the doubles to be easier to do than the singles. Whoops, I didn't do a double there. But it's up to you, right? I kind of mix it up a little bit, but start with whatever feels easiest for you, get that down, and then move on to the next one. All right, so at this point, then I recommend that you pause again and practice a little bit more. So this is what we're going for. We're just doing a 2-beat weave, and then every now and then, you're throwing in sideswipe. Okay, and so you want to really practice getting a nice consistent 2-beat weave, or nice consistent weave. If you want to do the 3-beat, that's fine. Nice consistent weave, nice rhythm, nice flow, and then every now and then you just throw in that hard hit, right? And you notice you can actually get a lot of power here, right? You can really wind up and get that hard swipe in, and that's kind of the point of this whole move is, like I said, to add a little bit of spice to your Florentine. So take a few and practice that, and we'll move on. And welcome back again. If you got through the last section and you're like, okay, I got these side swipes down. I'm doing my Florentine and I'm throwing in my side swipes. I'm good to go. I don't need to go further. That's totally fine. Okay, so now we're going to make it a little bit more complicated. I'm just going to show you more varieties that you can do. And the idea here is just really increase your versatility. All right, if you just really want to be able to do a few side swipes here and there, you don't need to go through this, because this is going to start to get complicated now. Now remember, I mentioned before that there's two positions, right? There is one position where your swipe hand is on top, and then there's another position where your side swipe hand is on the bottom. So if you want to switch between the two, well, first off, you want to be able to do Florentine. If you're doing 4-point Florentine, you want to be able to do it with in both formations, right? You want to be able to do it with your left arm on top, and then also with your right arm on top. And then ideally, if you can do 6-point Florentine, that would be great as well. But if not, again, work on those, and then that will make this part a lot easier. Okay, so to switch back and forth between one arm being on top and the other being on bottom, I came up with what I call the 8-point Florentine, or the 4-beat weave, if we're talking in point spinning terms. And so this is a drill, okay? And the reason I say it's a drill is because it's not necessarily a move that you need to do while you're topping someone, because it's honestly a little bit overly complicated. However, what this drill is intended to help you do is that it goes through all of the different positions of the side swipes, so that if you get this drill down, you should ideally be able to comfortably go through all 4 positions, okay? So having said that, this is how this drill is going to work. And we're actually going to focus on the hand that's doing the figure 8, okay? So now, instead of just going back and forth, 1, 1, 1, 1, we're gonna add an extra loop on each side, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let me show you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I call it the 4-beat weave, or 8-point Florentine, is because we're adding that extra loop. And so the thing is, every time you add that extra loop, it allows your side swipe hand to switch positions, to go from bottom to top or from top to bottom. So this is what we're going to put all together now. Okay, so I'm just going to start it off with a regular 2-beat weave, and then I'll incorporate the side swipes and go into this 8-point Florentine to show you. Okay, so here we go. Okay, that's how it is. It just takes a lot of practice to do. Okay, so let me show you here. Starting at this. Oops. Okay, so I messed it up a little bit there, but you get the idea. Here we go. I'll try it again. Okay, so one hand is literally just going back and forth with the side swipes, and the other is going loop, back, loop, cross, loop, back, loop, cross, loop, back, loop, back and forth, back and forth. So if you can get this little drill down, this 8-point Florentine, then I promise you it'll make it a lot easier to do the side swipes from any position. And that's kind of the way I envision this, right? Is that you want to be so comfortable with the side swipes that you can literally just throw them anytime you like without missing a beat, all right? And that's the key here, right? Is that in Florentine, you have this nice rhythm going. So you keep that up, you keep that rhythm going, but every now and then you throw in these little surprising swipes to keep your bottom on their toes, maybe literally, all right? Okay, in this last section, I'm just going to show you a few more variations that you can do to really show off a little bit, all right? So here we go. So one thing that you can do is when you're doing the side swipe, you can actually end up going over your head with it, and this is what it looks like, okay? So go swipe over my head, swipe over my head, and just go right back into your Florentine. From the opposite direction, you can do that as well. You can go swipe over, swipe over. Okay, so it's just swipe and then around. Like you're making a big loop with your arm to go right back into your Florentine like that. All right, or if you're going the other way, you go what, what. All right, so that's one variation you can do. Another one that you can try if you really, really want to get some power behind your side swipes is I've shifted my target a little bit to show you, but you can stand kind of sideways to your bottom, right? So if I'm standing straight behind them, this is what it would look like. So I shift, and now I'm kind of going sideways, right? And I have to kind of tilt my floggers a little bit, but when I'm ready, I wind up like that, right? And notice I barely hit the target because I don't want to send it flying. But if you wind up like this, you can definitely get a lot of power behind it. And you can also, just to move the target here, let's do that. Okay, you can do that with your backhand as well, right? Stand sideways this way, and then when you're ready, like that, all right? So those are just a few more variations for you to try to really keep this, as complicated as possible. All right, best of luck with this.